Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Thursday, March 10th, 2022. Nothing to talk about. I guess we can wrap up the show as we speak. What a crazy day. What a crazy day. Shout out to my man, Bernie Fratto, at Bernie Fratto on Twitter and at Fox Sports Radio, as he sent me a text. Let me get the exact time on the text here so I can tell you guys. 3:04. Go check Jeff Passan, Mr. Nightingale, and all those guys, what time their tweets came out. Bernie's been on top of this like white on rice. He has been in the fire he's been spot on. He was in the 1994 negotiations. He's been on our show 3 times, and we will have breakfast with Bernie Monday, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and he will give us the exact rundown, how this happened, what transpired. But I know my co-host, my partner in crime, must have a lot to talk about. So let's bring him on. The one, the only, from the Palm Tree State himself, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Good afternoon, Scott.
Well, it finally happened, right? So, it was going to happen at some point in time. And I would just say this. I would say that it's about damn time. And based upon where they were the other day, they could have just done the deal then too, I suppose, and just said what they said, earlier today to make this thing happen. But yay for baseball. It's my life and blood, I can tell you that. But that all being said, it's kind of interesting. Some of the questions you popped up there asked me about the CBA, and a couple of things. Number one, the universal DH is in. That's going to happen this season. The other things that are happening this season are going to be no more base runners on second base in extra innings. That's all gone away. Extra innings will be, doubleheaders will be 9 innings both games. So there won't be any more 7-inning games. Expanded postseason will be part of this year. And I say this year because some of the stuff is actually going to start next year in 2023, which will be things like the shift being banned. The shift being banned will not happen until 2023. The pitch clock won't happen until 2023, and the large bases won't happen until 2023. But all of that will be part of the process ongoing, and it's probably just because they waited so long and got to this point that they don't have a way to implement those things and facilitate all that stuff and get all the bases made and and all that kind of and orchestrate everything. So anyway, all that being said, I have spent my afternoon. What was I doing? I was looking at the teams on offense, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to react to what's getting ready to happen as of tomorrow. And I don't think it's going to happen tonight, but tomorrow and the next day, you're going to have free agents and trades happening right and left. And it's going to be fast and furious. Some of them aren't going to matter. Some of them will. But the one thing that I thought the best way to handle it is to look at what these teams did last year. And so far I've just done the offense. And let me see if I can pull it up in case there's a question or whatever about what I did. And then I graded them on several different things that I look at for quality of performance. And then that creates then holes, right? So some of these teams, they're going to have to go and say, San Diego, for example, has issues in the power zone. You wouldn't think they would, but they do. They have a power problem. They don't hit fly balls and they don't have hard contact. So So if you're looking for a free agent that comes along or a trade, you want to try to fill some of those gaps and holes to make that team better. So you won't be able to know that unless you know what the holes are. So that was what I was working on basically all day this afternoon.
Well, some of the stuff that you said, I was kind of hoping the shift was this year. So that kind of is a poo-poo. I actually, believe it or not, like the runner on second base. And I tell you, I thought we were pretty successful. Not that you can forecast it, but the fact of the matter is uh, uh, it speeds up the extra innings. It allows you not to crush your bullpens. And then, I mean, they wipe that out. They wipe out the 9 inning double headers. And it's kind of comical where they really went with some of this stuff. I don't know. I mean, now you're going to get a sped up spring training. They're going to throw these guys right into the fire. Listen, I'm glad baseball's back, so don't get me wrong on that part. But the fact of the matter is, I think they take a step backwards. Just my opinion on the double headers. The 7 innings were actually, again, you're saving bullpens, you're saving arms. I mean, some of these pitchers are, 25, 30, $35 million pitchers. They're almost making $1 million a start. And what's the weakness in most of these teams that don't succeed? It's the bullpen. It's the back end. It's the bridge. And we've just gone back, I think, a step to where it's an arms race.
Well, I think that there's a couple ways to look at some of this stuff. I think that just on based on what I just did on offense, some teams have offense and most teams don't. And when you look at pitching, some teams have starting pitching and some teams don't. But some teams have bullpens that keep them in the games and can win that way too. So no, I understand. There's a lot of nuances that happened or whatever. The truth of the matter is, the shift is going to be something that is going to be disappointing to most people. And the reason I say that is because it's not effective to a lot of things other than left-handed hitters, and specifically certain left-handed hitters more so than others. But you put your Joey Gallo up there, and you can just put one guy in left field and everybody else on the right side of the field, and he's going to hit it to the right side of the field anyway. But that all being said, some of this stuff is good. Some of it's not so good. It's just an adjustment in what's going on. I think that overall it's a great deal. And the reason I say it's a great deal is because the CBA now prevents tanking from teams. The way it's written, the way it's designed, the CBT, all the different things that now are a part of it prevent teams from tanking or having the benefit from tanking. Service time manipulation has now been taken care of. So that means your younger players and specifically like Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals this year, he can come up and he can play right out of the gate. He doesn't have to have that, month and a half to sit in the minor leagues just because now he gets an extra, or the team gets an extra year on his contract and stuff like that. So that's a big win for the game. It's a big win for the game that tanking is now gone, because now teams are being forced to be more competitive. The rule changes where now you have the DH in the National League. I can just tell you, Jeff, looking at what I just did, I broke them out because I wanted to do them American League and National League and get the averages for the leagues. The National League sucks. I don't mean that disrespectfully to the National League, but that when you're weighted runs above average as a league, the whole league is minus 8.8 runs. So what that means is that the average team is worse than a regular average team, period. I mean, that's terrible. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 teams. 5 teams that are competitive on offense, and those 5 teams are the Giants, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Reds, and believe it or not, the Nationals. Those 5 teams are good on offense, in the National League, and everybody else is below average. And some of these teams, the Miami Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're just so damn bad it ain't even funny. But all that being said, now you're going to be able to get these younger guys up there. You're going to be able to get these things going. You're going to have a DH in the National League to help compensate for some of this. And here's a answer to a trivia question that's going to be asked. So everybody write it down if you want to. The last pitcher to hit before the universal DH, and the last pitcher to hit, his name is Kendall Graveman. So he was the pitcher for the Houston Astros, and he played when the Astros, I guess, were ahead 9-5. I'm looking at the clip right here. They were 9-5 ahead against the Braves, and now he's the last pitcher to bat. But it's you got to look at it now. They have higher CBT, so now the younger players, which is what this was all about, because the younger players were not getting the same kind of pay, and those are the best stars now in the league, and now they're going to get that. There's a higher minimum pay too, so now everybody gets paid better. You got an expanded postseason, so now there's a couple extra cities that are going to be more tied into getting playoff experience, and we're going to get full 162 games. I can't see a better solution to what they did and what came across. And how much ground was made. I think the game is going to be a lot more fun. I hope it's a more athletic game, because some of these other things that are going to get implemented do. And with the bigger bases, I know that everybody thinks the bigger bases are for a lot of different reasons, but the truth of the matter is that there's the bases have little wedges and little angles on them, and it's designed to help the runners pivot and turn off of these bases. And it's also designed to have the first baseman have a different part of the base where the runner can also hit the base, and they both can not trip over each other and stuff. So there's going to be a lot less injuries and stuff on the bases. So I'm excited. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, shit, I'm ready to go right now, but it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be two things. One, and of course I'm sitting here taking up all your time, but I think two things. One, there's going to be a lot of free agents that are going to be signed, and people are going to be excited on the free agents. But let me just tell you this. In looking at the free agents, it's all about the batters. You got Carlos Correa, Freddie Freeman, Trevor Story, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Conforto, Soler. Those guys are going to be the ones that everybody's going to be after. So there's like 10, 12 of these guys that are there that can help a team right away and can make them pretty damn competitive. But there aren't really any pitchers out there. When you look at the pitching part of it, the starting pitchers have Carlos Rodon, he's going to be good. And he's going to be, I don't think he would be the number one on most teams. He'll be the number two on most teams, even though he had a great year last season. And Clayton Kershaw. And you know what's going to happen with Kershaw. He's not going to go sign somewhere else. He's either going to play for the Dodgers or he's going to retire. And then you got guys like Yusei Kikuchi and Zach Greinke and Michael Pineda and Danny Duffy. And I mean, those aren't guys that are going to change everything. And there isn't really anybody in the relief pitcher market. I mean, Andrew Chafin and Jake Diekman and Adam Ottavino and Kenley Jansen and Joe Kelly and these guys, they're all out there, but likely a lot of those guys go back to where they came from. So I think the biggest market's going to be trades, not free agents. And I think the number one guy that people are going to be after is Matt Olson.
Yeah, Olson was a big name before the lockout, and guys were snooping around during the free agency and then the lockout. I already read today that the Yankees are going back, looking at records and stuff on Correa. So I know we want to get to the board, because there's some 5:30 games that are about to start, and there's some eye-opening movement on a few of them. But my question to you is, Yankees and Correa, I mean, what are they going to do with Torres, or what the hell's going on in the middle?
Well, Torres is going to play second base.
Okay.
I believe Torres he's not going to be the shortstop. So I think they've learned that they're happy with him at second base, and he's happy playing second base, because evidently there was something to the effect of the being a Yankee shortstop. I mean, with all the people that have played the position before and the load that you carry as a shortstop in general, he was struggling at the plate. They move him over to second base and he starts hitting again. So it's a different feel. So they need a shortstop. I mean, what do they call for shortstop for the Yankees right now? I think that team roster resource Yankees. When the hell are you there? Shortstop. The Yankees are showing at shortstop right now. Gio Urshela to play shortstop, and he's a third baseman. So they got DJ LeMahieu at third base with Luke Voigt at first base. So none of that's going to stay that way. And they do have it right with Gleyber Torres at second. So I think you're going to see Luke Voigt gone. I think you're going to find somebody at first base, whether it's Rizzo.
No, they'll move LeMahieu to first unless they re-sign Rizzo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna sign a first baseman that hits left-handed and hits power. That's what I think they're gonna do. And I think that's where you got your Rizzos and your Freemans and those guys come into play. And I think what will end up happening is Urshela will maybe stay at shortstop. Maybe he moves somewhere else. I don't know. But you're going to end up with LeMahieu at third base.
No, because I heard the Voigt gone. So I mean, Urshela. I think maybe they use Rizzo as a backup if they don't get Correa. I don't know, but all right.
Well, look at it this way. If Correa comes over, Urshela doesn't have a job. That's the way it's going to end up. Because he's not going to play third base because what's going to end up happening is Torres is going to play second, and then Urshela is not going to get the playing time at third base because they're going to need LeMahieu to play there, and Torres is going to play the other, and then they're going to need a first baseman.
If they ever sign Correa and Rizzo, Jesus, here we go again.
Well, it's almost like anything. Looking at the Yankees last year, they didn't win with offense; they won with pitching. And the truth of the matter is, they didn't even have that very good. So they got a good year out of Montgomery last year, but Nestor Torres came in and gave him some good innings. And at the beginning of the season, Domingo Germán gave him good innings at the beginning. So think about what the Yankees have. They got Garrett Cole. And then they have Jordan Montgomery, Nestor Torres, Domingo Germán, and then they're going to put a lot onto Luis Severino to see if he can come back and pitch. Kluber's gone, so they don't have. They're going to need starters. So I think they're going to have a lot of issues in Yankeeville to fill all the holes. But I guess we'll have to just see what kind of happens. I mean, people will be in the interest for Luke Voigt, especially in the National League. There's a lot of teams in the National League that are going to need a DH now.
It's going to be hot and heavy, that's for sure.
It'll be fun.
No, it will. It will. All right, let me open this up here. Two games we talked about in the NBA, Scott. Brooklyn, Philly, which on paper is a great game, but Ben Simmons sitting on the bench, so maybe they're just giving him a taste of what it's going to feel like. Philly right now 4.5. Then Golden State, Denver. Golden State opened at 2.5 now too. Any feel, anything, any leans, anything in the NBA?
Well, I'll just tell you a couple. I'm leaning on these games. I'm not playing either one. I think Philadelphia is since they got Harden is just a pretty good team, and I think that this is the first time Harden will be playing against the Nets, and I think they're going to want to stick it to them, and right up there, what. So I would be pretty comfortable with the idea that Philadelphia wins that game by more than 4.5. And the other one, I would take Denver plus the points against Golden State. I'm not sold on Golden State being back and being the greatest team in the world again and dominating the West. So I would lean those ways. I didn't play either one of them, but I think I would certainly lean that way.
In college, there's some stuff going on here, guys. So grab a pen and paper. First of all, 6:30 start, 7:17, 7:18 rotation. Maryland, Michigan State. First of all, Michigan State only opens up -3, and now they're down to 2. I'm showing 67% of the bets, 53% of the money on Michigan State, Scott.
Well, this one, now I got to dig into these a little bit. This has $225,000 on it. That doesn't mean it's a big bad game because the Northwestern Iowa game, for example, had 313,000 on it. Indiana, Michigan had 426,000 on it. So people are going nuts. So 53% of the money, 75% of the tickets on Michigan State.
So there's reverse line movement on the twerps. Everyone here knows why I call them the twerps. If I run to the window and play the twerps, Michigan State romps. I'm staying away. I'm just telling you there is reverse line movement on Maryland. This stinks to high heaven. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a big bag play. Just looking at it, it's just constant, the number of wagers.
Rotation number 725, 726, Virginia Tech at Notre Dame. Notre Dame opened up a pick. They actually opened up -1, guys. It is flipped to Virginia Tech -1, and that's with 59% of the bets, 59% of the money on Notre Dame.
We're showing 130,000 on this one, 53% of the money, 63% of the tickets on Notre Dame.
So reverse alignment on Virginia Tech. I'm skipping Virginia, North Carolina. Colton, who is on at 2 o'clock, loves George Washington +3 and thinks they could win outright. There's been a two-point jump on Richmond. They opened up at 4, now 6. Rotation number 735, 736. 67% of the bets, 79% of the money on the Spiders.
I'm showing 83% of the money, 74% of the tickets on Richmond.
Rotation number 741, 742, St. John's at Villanova. Villanova opened at 6, now 7. 59% of the bets, 64% of the money on Villanova.
Let me get there. It's 117,000 on the game, 65% of the money, 70% of the tickets on Villanova.
9:30, rotation number 743, 744. For the 100th time, guys, I am scared shitless of this game. UConn opened at 4. The line is not moving, yet they're receiving 60% of the bets, 67% of the money, all on UConn. I just hope the Huskies find a way to win this game and hopefully match up against Nova.
59,000 on this one, so much lower action right as of now. But 69% of the money, 70% of the tickets on UConn.
It's a Seton Hall number, boys. It's a Seton Hall number. SEC, nothing pops out. Big 12, Oklahoma, Baylor, 770, 757, 758. Baylor opened up at 8.5, now 7.5. 58% of the money, 58% of the bets, 50% of the money on Baylor.
Showing 90,000 on the game, 60% of the money, and 78% of the tickets on Baylor.
So there's reverse line movement on Oklahoma. Iowa State, Texas Tech opened at 7, now 8.5. 69% of the bets, 63% of the money on Iowa State.
Showing 59,000 on this one, 62% of the money and 51% of the tickets on Iowa State.
So there's reverse line movement on Texas Tech. All right, this is the game I wanted to get to, 2 of them. 5:30 start, guys. Rotation number 777, 778, Oregon and Colorado. Oregon opened up at 1. Colorado now 1.5. 54% of the bets, 72% of the money on Colorado.
175,000 on the game, 71% of the money, 63% of the tickets on Colorado.
All right, so I'm just going to tell everyone here this. Buyer beware, because the public has been chomping at the bit at Oregon and getting crushed. Now they've said, you know what? We're going to jump on to Colorado. Just beware. That's all I'm going to tell you there.
Hey, Jeff. So at 10 o'clock this morning, Oregon was -1. And then as soon as, it switched over to them +1, somebody jumped in, put $35,000 on Oregon plus the 1.
I'm telling you, I think they're playing the okey doke with everyone here. I'm just telling you, I'm not touching the game. Okay, now all of a sudden the world hates the Ducks, and in comes Colorado. Just be careful there. And you 785, 786, another 530 tip-off. UNLV, Wyoming. Wyoming's been a cash cow this year, crushing teams, finding ways to win, like Providence as usual. They open up 1-point favorites. That line hasn't moved yet. 68% of the money, 74%, 68% of the tickets, 74% of the money, all on Wyoming.
Well, this one shows a lot different. So this one shows an overnight or an opening number of Wyoming +2. And now it's showing Wyoming -1.5 with $140,000 on the game, 66% of the money, and 70% of the tickets on Wyoming.
Well, if I didn't see a Wyoming +2, that would have been an alarming. Okay, I know some sharp prospective money all on UNLV today. All on UNLV. Utah State, Colorado State, this opened at 1.5, now 3.5 at Circa, 4 across the Vegas Strip, 69% of the bets, 78% of the money on Colorado State.
Showing 62,000 on the game, 86% of the money, 87% of the tickets on Colorado State.
Yeah, I respect the jump. I don't think I'll be jumping in there, though. Another 5:30 start. This one we are already on. 793, 794. Cal Santa Barbara, Cal Irvine. Overnight, Cal Irvine opened up at 1. Sharps crushed Cal Santa Barbara. We have them -2.
Showing $91,000 on the game. I'm showing 80% of the money on UC Irvine and 58% of the tickets on UC Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara's the play there, boys and girls. 797, 798, 11:30 start. Cal Riverside, Hawaii. Cal Riverside opened at 1.5, now 2.5. 60% of the bets, 73% of the money on Riverside.
I'm showing 19,000 on the game, so not anybody's hardly betting it yet. 74% of the money, 58% of the tickets on Hawaii.
Yet Riverside's still 2.5, so keep an eye on Riverside there. 7 p.m. There's been a flip. 801, 802, La Tech versus Western Kentucky. La Tech opened up at 1, now Western Kentucky -1. 54% of the bets, 59% of the money on the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, I'm showing 23,000 on the game, 73% of the money, 53% of the tickets on Western Kentucky.
803, 804, UTEP, Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State opens at 3.5, now 2.5. 65% of the bets, 80% of the money on UTEP.
Yeah, 57,000 on this one, 76% of the money on UTEP, 55% of the tickets on Middle Tennessee.
I can tell you the sharps are on UTEP +3, +2.5, and also on the money line. 7 p.m. There's been a flip. 807, 808. Quinnipiac versus Siena. Siena opened up as a pick. Now it's Circa. Quinnipiac is -1.5.
Showing 22,000 on this one, 63% of the money, 56% of the tickets on Siena.
This board is crazy today. I'm going to go to hockey right now. It's a decent board. 1 second.
Lots of games.
I'm going to go on to some opening numbers that kind of caught our eye. Colorado opening up at 120, now 119 at Carolina, Scott.
Yeah, 24,000 on the game, 71% of the money, 52% of the tickets on Colorado.
A team that's 1-4 its last 5. So keep an eye on the Avalanche there. We got this game on the weekend. Now everyone's playing it back. I don't know. St. Louis and the Rangers, 45-46 on the rotation. St. Louis opened up at 130, now 114. I know the Rangers got one of the best goalies in tonight. They were waiting for this game. What's your numbers say there?
17,000 on the game, 54% of the money, 81% of the tickets on the Rangers.
Respect the opening number here, guys, with the Blues. Respect the opening number there. And this is the eye opener of the night. 49-50, 9:05 puck drop. Tampa at Calgary. Calgary opens up -110, still 110.
Yeah, nobody's betting this one. 15,000 on the game. 63% of the money is on Calgary. 53% of the tickets on Tampa Bay.
So if you wanted a quick synopsis of the hockey board, I lean Avs, Blues, and Calgary. Those are the three plays in the NHL. There's a million games that we went through on the college board. Anyone with any questions, please DM me at EC Sports Invest. Throw it out there on my timeline. Don't be shy. You can go over to Facebook, Instagram. You can send some messages over there. It's that time of year. It's crazy time. It doesn't mean you had to play all 71 college games today. It's madness for a reason, guys. With that said, it's that time of the night. I don't know. Do you have any Webby's words of wisdom today?
I sure do.
All right.
So today, I'm going to talk about opportunities and how that comes about. So opportunities don't happen, we create them. So we kind of always think about things in a way of if I had this, I could have done that, or maybe when I can do this, I can get to the next level, and when I'm at the next level, I'll be able to take advantage of that. Whatever this or that may be, you're just thinking about these opportunities. The issue is that we assume that opportunities come our way. They just don't. It doesn't happen that way. They're not lying around on the floor where you can just go pick them up and put them in your pocket and take them out and run around with all these opportunities. They don't work that way. You have to be creative. You have to explore new ideas. You have to experiment. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to take risks, and you have to learn new skills. You got to be positive, make decisions. You got to address issues, broaden your horizons. Doing these things create better opportunities for yourself. And sometimes a better opportunity is nothing more than just a better situation. If you're in a better situation, you can make better choices, better decisions, and then be more successful. And in our world, in our gambling lanes, there are dozens and if not hundreds of games every day that we have an opportunity to wager on. Each game itself has multiple ways to wager on them. So the more we work to be creative and uncover different things, so we have to explore, we have to do the same things we just talked about. We have to explore, we have to experiment, we have to get out of our comfort zone, we have to take risks, we have to think positively. We need to create our own opportunities because, again, they're not just laying out there on the floor for you to go pick them up and put them in your pocket and take it to the window. It doesn't work like that. So the more that you work and the more that you uncover things and the more things you try, the better you're going to be. The more you're going to have the opportunity to be successful. You're going to then create your own opportunities as opposed to be looking for opportunities that you try to pick up off the floor. And that's what today's about. Today's about, making sure that you realize that opportunities don't come up and slap you in the face and go, here I am, I bet on me. It's more about, look, there's 5-10 different ways you can bet one basketball game or one whatever game. Dig into those games, figure out what's going on, and then find your best opportunities. And if you find one that's worthy of playing, then take that to the window with conviction and make those wagers.
I talk about opportunities all the time, and I send out some kind of humorous, I think, emails and say opportunity is knocking. Are you going to get off the couch and answer the door? And usually most people will sit on their fat ass and let opportunity pass by them. And those are the same people that sit there, bitch, whine, yell, scream, and holler. And I call it settling for less. You are not owed anything. Okay. And everyone looks at social media and they look up to these people and they bow down and kiss their rings instead of getting up. And I say this every day. Every day you get up and your feet hit the damn ground, it's a gift. It's called the present for a reason. What are you going to do with those 24 hours? Are you going to make a difference, or are you going to cry, bitch, whine, yell, scream, and holler? The grass isn't always greener across the street. Trust me on that. Just because the guy next door has this beautiful white picket fence, his house is immaculate, his lawn looks like Augusta, doesn't mean when you go through that door, it's not Hell's Kitchen in there. Okay? Trust me, I've lived in that. Okay? It's the Better Homes and Garden look until you open the door and you actually go in there and see what the hell's going on. I call it the Huxtables. Okay? It looks all great. All great. They get their smiley faces. As soon as you close that door and get out that door, the real drama starts hitting, Scott.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the idea, right? I mean, people create their own fate in a lot of ways. Sometimes, every decision that you make puts you in a place to either be successful or unsuccessful. Sometimes you're also in a place by the decision that you made to make yourself lucky or unlucky. But the truth of the matter is you got to make choices and you got to do things and you got to work at it, because opportunities aren't just sitting out there to be found. You got to create them. Once you create them, it's up to you then to act upon what you created and take advantage of your opportunities to be successful in your life.
Amen. 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 It's been a crazy, busy day. It's only going to get crazier. I want everyone to embrace the madness, enjoy it, have some fun with it. Listen, there's going to be buzzer beaters. There's going to be back doors. I mean, I had Indiana on the desk today. And you know what? I was happier than a pig in doo-doo. I'm like, yes, they're down 17. Woo, woo. Well, Michigan couldn't throw the ball in the ocean for 11 straight minutes. And Indiana comes running and cashing in the ticket. Meanwhile, I released George Mason, who's up 10-12, flexing their muscles, who couldn't score either, and they lose. So that's opportunity knocking, and unfortunately, opportunity closing the door in my face. But that's what happens in these lanes.
I was going to say that's a perfect thing, right? I mean, you got to look at things and react to what's going on too. So those are great live in-game situations where you're at a point where you can capitalize and get out of a bad bet if you had to, or you didn't bet it or whatever, you're watching it and going, holy shit, this is an opportunity because I'm paying attention that I can take advantage of and then go with it. And that's the part of get out of your comfort zone. Some people don't do those things that need to do. And if they would just take advantage of everything that's presented to them, they would find opportunities in lots of places. You just got to look for them.
Tomorrow morning is Friday. At 10 o'clock Eastern, we will have Riley Magnuson from the Windy City. He's going to come on. He's usually on at 2. So we're going to run the Windy City review, talk some Big Ten, talk some Cheesehead, and get you ready for the weekend there. Myself and Scott will be back at 4:30 on Friday for the closing bell. It doesn't mean you guys can't reach out to us, ask some questions. That's what we're here for. We got some big stuff brewing. I keep saying that, but it's true. I'll be in Vegas Tuesday, the 15th through the 31st. Anyone here listening that will be in Vegas, reach out to me. I don't bite. We'll sit, watch a game. We'll have some lunch if you want. I don't care. I'm out there for 17 days and nights. Trust me. I got plenty of time to kill. I'm not out there.
just for clarification on the baseball stuff,
Yeah.
the owners have basically ratified the deal. So starting at 6 o'clock, free agency's open. So expect some deals to happen tonight.
All right. And myself and Scott will be retweeting away. I'm going to say, I think the Correa thing, usually it used to be that the big name, they sit and wait till the market. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the Yankees end up with Correa. I said all along, I thought the Tigers would make a splash there. Just listening to you, I think Correa solidifies the infield, and then that gives them some flexibility. I know Voigt's supposed to be gone, but they're not going to let LeMahieu. LeMahieu's a serviceable. And the other name you said was who over there?
That's first base?
Urshela.
Yeah, Urshela's not going to have a job if Correa comes over.
Okay. So it could get hot and heavy. So you got your college hoops games at 5:30. You got 5 minutes, like I said. We're on Santa Barbara -2. The world is on Colorado, so watch the Ducks come quacking, and the Sharps are on UNLV over Wyoming. Always invest and wager responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scott care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20 MLB. Baseball is back. Back, as Mr. Berman used to say. Have a blessed evening. Have some fun, and we'll see you in the morning.